Star Wars Bad Batch, episodes 1 through 4 of season 3. A much late review on my part, but that's because we've been doing the live streams and they've been wearing me out. Let's talk about them. Alright, guys, we're back for Geek Variants. We cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, Star Wars Bad Batch episode 1 through 4 of season 3. And look, this series has continued to get better and better and better. And honestly, as far as starting out the gate goes, I think season 3 is doing the best job of any of the seasons thus far. Spoilers are coming ahead, so be prepared. Look, episode 1, I was not expecting things to go the way that it did. I understand we were going to, at some point, have everything go on to where we would have Omega break it. Her and Crosshair being the duo to do it, a little shocked. I understand Crosshair's story needs to come back to fruition, come back to his brothers to sort of replace Tech, who is, for all intents and purposes, missing. Look, until I see a body, he's not dead. Just putting that out there, want that fully covered and fully understood. With the breakout and everything going on, having the Emperor also show up this early, things have gone from great to amazing, and I've really been loving everything we've seen this far. With episode 2, we got more of a backstory as far as Hunter and Wrecker and kind of how they've been having to patchwork their team together. They're missing their tech guy, they're missing their sniper, Echo is off hanging out with somebody else, so now we have to fully focus our love and attention and effort directly on these two, who we just have a bruiser, Wrecker, and then we have Hunter with the amazing instincts. Like, this is all we have. We don't even have Omega to kind of like fill in the pieces, who's a little bit of a mix and match puzzle piece. She's that perfect piece that fits anywhere you really need it to in these mission objectives to get things done the correct way. And honestly, seeing that they have a soft spot to be able to help those clone kids that were left off in the middle of nowhere really was a nice touch. The Forest, terrifying as all hell, was not prepared for anything that happened out there. Crazy mission. There's always a bog monster somewhere. As if you've seen it in A New Hope, you know it's going to pop up somewhere else because Filoni loves the originals, loves covering all that good stuff, has done an amazing job of kind of setting the groundwork for what we have happening here. And then we had Shadows of Tantus, which really filled in things really nicely. It was kind of a filler episode, and honestly it was probably my least favorite of the episodes that we had going on thus far, but none of them I would rank anything lower than a 7 out of 10. Everything has been very entertaining. It's good adult content. It's good kid content. It's just great Star Wars content. Star Wars animation department, hats off to you, everyone at Disney. Fantastic job. Love what we've seen thus far. Tantus and having Crosshair do this kind of stuff with Omega, it was definitely... It's an interesting relationship dynamic. Omega cares too much. That's her problem. We've made shorts about it. She wants to help every single person that she's ever met, regardless if it's 5 seconds or she's known them for years. She just wants to help people. And then there's Crosshair. He wants to help himself and cover his mission objectives. He doesn't really care for the civilians. He doesn't care for what else is going on. Everything else is kind of viewed as an unnecessary time expenditure, which I get. Sometimes you have to be more cutthroat. Sometimes you have to be more mission objective based. If everything was in a perfect world, we'd all help our fellow man. But because sometimes things get messed up and then this is a time of war in the Star Wars galaxy, people get left behind. People fall in hard times. People end up under the thumb of the Empire, or the thumb of the Hutts, or the thumb of insert whoever you want. Things get a little dicey from time to time, and unfortunately, with the way the Emperor has the galaxy set up, friends are gonna be lost along the way. And Omega has still 3 seasons in not really realized that. She hasn't really come to terms with it. She's still like me, where she believes Tech is alive, and again, until I see a body, I'm not really counting him as dead. This is the Star Wars galaxy. We never saw Palpatine's body, therefore he was able to be resurrected for the terrible sequels. Things were set up in place to make these sort of stories happen. Tech's body could very well be used as part of the filler for Omega if they're not able to capture her, which is what the Empire's objective is, because they found her as the positive match they've been looking for to help this project of the Emperor's fully come to fruition. And then episode 4, look, a different approach, absolutely amazing. This was the best one thus far. we finally got to see Crosshair sort of soften up. He was willing to do things a different way, willing to think outside his box, outside his programming, so to speak. And we really got to see Omega shine. She really showed that she's picked up tricks, she's picked up new ideas, she's picked up on a lot of different things people have been laying down that she's met over time, and she's able to hustle a lot of people very, very well. And honestly, that Imperial officer that we saw in this episode, whose name eludes me at this time, was a fantastic villain. You really actually didn't think of him as an evil dude. He was just someone who ran things by the book, his way, his planet, his ideals. And he ultimately came off immediately as someone who was like, yeah, sure, you burned me. That's fine. I'll be seeing you, though. I'll be seeing you. And then, literally, next thing you know, 5-10 minutes later, Puppy's gone. All the taxes are being levied. And he has already got his plan set up A, B, C, and D. Got his traps perfectly established and knew they were coming, knew when they'd show up, knew how they'd show up. Got everything perfectly set up. Only for Clone Force 99 to do what they do best and finally break everyone out of there. And Crosshair was able to save the animals, which was a huge step for him because, look, everyone knows if you're going to be on that craze path, most people and most psychologists say you start with animals and then you end up going to people. If he's able to show kindness to animals, he'll be able to show kindness to people. This is part of his growth. This is part of his evolution. I don't think everyone will accept him immediately, as we saw in the episode, but he's going to be able to work his way back in. These are his brothers. Sometimes you have an outing with family. Happens to everybody. But at the end of the day, that's still your family. You still root for them. You still want to support them. You still want to put an arm around them and tell them, hey, it's okay. We've got this. We can make this work together. And having that moment between Hunter and Omega, that hugging embrace, yo, I'm a grown man. I'm in my 30s. Long story short, you actually felt something when this happened. And that was something that's been missing from like the sequels. There was no depth of emotions when things were transpiring on screen. We didn't care about the characters like this. This animated series has only been three seasons long. My goodness, English, I can speak it sometimes, I swear. Has been able to instill these feelings, these emotions, these thoughts with us that really resonate and have a deep and meaningful impact. And Omega, for all intents and purposes, in my mind, is Hunter's daughter. I know they're probably more like brother sister, or she's like his older like niece somehow, some way. I don't know how that works. I'm not an expert. But she and him have a very, very special connection that is just perfect. They balance each other out really well. She's softened him up and made him a better leader. He's hardened her up to make her a better member of the team and someone who's willing to sort of deal with loss. She still has attachment issues to a fault, but also that's one of her strengths and that's helped make this team what it is. How will they affect their relationship with Wrecker, Hunter, and Crosshair now in the fold? That is yet to be seen and something I'm very excited to see. Let me know if you guys want me to continue the live stream. All comments on this post below will be the one on how I gauge how much we get through tonight, because I'll be back regular time, Star Wars, The Bad Batch, Episode 5. We'll have that covered for you. If you made 8.5 minutes through, be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button. We just recapped you Star Wars, The Bad Batch, Season 3, Episodes 1 through 4, streaming only on Disney Plus and Hulu. Amazing series. If you haven't checked it out, go watch everything. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. I'll be seeing you.